Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the absolute cutting-edge science of healthy aging. We're going to look at exactly why lifting weights isn't just a young athlete's game anymore. You see, we're completely rewriting the rules of what it means to grow older, and we're tossing out that outdated idea that physical decline is just some inevitable fact of life. Instead, we're going to explore the incredible biological mechanisms inside your own body and how specific types of physical activity can literally hit the pause button on your biological clock.
Okay, get this startling statistic from UCLA Health. Starting at age 30, we can lose up to 8% of our muscle mass every single decade. 8%. That's a massive, invisible decline happening right inside of us while we're just going about our daily lives. Now, you might not notice it at 35 or even 45, but this subtle, constant drain on our muscle mass fundamentally alters our metabolism, our physical capabilities, and honestly, our entire long-term health trajectory. To understand how to fight this, here's our agenda for today. We'll cover the aging body's reality, the strength training solution, full body benefits beyond just your muscles, the official guidelines, and finally, exactly how you can start today.
All right, Part 1, the aging body's reality. Let's see what's actually happening under the hood. Our primary enemy in this story is something called sarcopenia. The word comes from the Greek roots sarx, meaning flesh, and penia, meaning loss. It's essentially the age-related decline in skeletal muscle mass, strength, and overall function. This whole process really shifts into high gear after age 50. But here's the truly wild and kind of concerning part from UT Southwestern Medical Center. When we lose that vital lean muscle, the body doesn't just leave an empty space there. No, it almost always replaces that lost muscle with fat. And this increased body fat composition, it dramatically cranks up your risk for metabolic diseases. And this invisible loss has some very visible, real-world consequences. By age 70, a staggering 30% of adults actually struggle with everyday mobility. We're talking about walking, climbing a few stairs, or simply getting up out of a chair. The National Institute on Aging points out that these mobility limitations are directly linked to higher rates of falls, chronic disease, and ultimately a devastating loss of physical independence. To put this into perspective, let's look at the harsh biological timeline we're up against. At age 30, our muscle mass naturally peaks. It's all downhill from there if we do nothing. By age 50, bone mineral density begins to drop rapidly, particularly for postmenopausal women. And by age 60 and beyond, the decline in your muscle power and performance accelerates big time. If we just let nature take its course without any intervention, frailty becomes almost unavoidable. But we do have a way to fight back. Section 2, the strength training solution. So a lot of us think a daily walk or a light jog is totally enough to keep us healthy as we age. And look, cardiovascular exercise is absolutely fantastic for your heart and your lungs. But as data from UT Southwestern reveals, it's actually pretty ineffective at maintaining or building your muscles. Resistance training, on the other hand, actively forces your muscles to contract against an external force. It is literally the singular, proven method to preserve your lean muscle mass, boost your strength, and stop that dangerous fat replacement process we just talked about dead in its tracks. And this active resistance, it works wonders for our bones, too. UCLA Health data shows that high-intensity resistance training is uniquely effective at stimulating bone-building cells to fend off osteoporosis. Now, low-intensity resistance training, or LIRT, meaning lighter weights and more reps, that's great for counteracting bone density loss. But high-intensity resistance training, or HIIT, where you use heavier weights or lift rapidly and explosively while lowering slowly, is actually more effective at increasing your bone mineral density. The mechanical load you apply literally signals your cells to build stronger bone tissue. It's like telling your body, hey, we need some reinforcements here. Dr. Hamza Siddiqui from UT Southwestern sums this up so perfectly. When explaining why active resistance is completely non-negotiable for protecting our muscle mass and long-term independence, he relies on a very simple truth. If you don't use it, you will eventually lose it. You, and only you, can protect your own muscle mass. Let's move right into Section 3, Beyond Muscle, where we'll look at the full body benefits. Because it's not just about getting toned. Resistance training is, for all intents and purposes, a full body medicine. Muscle tissue is incredibly active metabolically, so retaining it gives you much better blood sugar regulation, which is absolutely crucial for combating type 2 diabetes. On top of that, a massive study tracking older adults for 15 years found that engaging in any weight training significantly lowered their overall mortality risk from cardiovascular disease and cancer. And maybe the most amazing part? It promotes blood flow to the brain, stimulating the neuromuscular system and physically slowing down the aging process in the hippocampus.
Speaking of the brain, a systematic review of 98 clinical trials revealed something mind-blowing. It takes about 52 cumulative hours of exercise to significantly enhance cognitive performance and memory retention in older adults. That means every single time you pick up a weight or stretch a resistance band, you are literally banking time toward a sharper, more resilient mind.
And the best part is, these interventions can be incredibly simple. Look at the INVEST study from Wake Forest University. Researchers were studying older adults who were actively losing weight. Now, when older adults drop pounds, they often lose dangerous amounts of bone density and muscle right alongside the fat, a condition known as sarcopenic obesity. To combat this, volunteers just wore weighted vests with tiny, incremental weights under their clothes for 8 hours a day. As they lost body weight, they added that exact same weight to the vest. This incredibly simple act of safely loading the skeleton successfully slowed down their hip bone density loss. How cool is that?
Okay, so Section 4, the official guidelines. How much do we actually need to be doing?
According to the official CDC guidelines for adults 65 and older, a balanced routine really requires a multi-component approach. First up, you need 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity, like brisk walking. But crucially, you also need muscle-strengthening activities at least 2 days a week, making sure to hit all the major muscle groups. And finally, balance activities, things like Tai Chi or yoga 2 or more days a week to prevent falls. It's the combination of these 3 buckets that creates true, lasting physical resilience. Which brings us to our final part, Section 5, how to start today. I want to assure you right now, you absolutely do not need an intimidating, expensive gym membership to start fighting sarcopenia today. The goal isn't to become a competitive bodybuilder, right? It's to build strength for real daily life. You can use resistance bands. They're cheap, safe, and super portable. You can start with light 2 to 5 pound dumbbells and do a few more reps, or honestly, just use your own body weight. Simple things like wall push-ups, bodyweight squats, or just practicing standing up from a chair repeatedly are incredibly effective ways to get started. The folks at UCLA Health break this down into 4 highly actionable, safe steps for anyone wanting to begin. Step 1, always talk to a doctor before starting a new routine. Step 2, focus entirely on your form first, using just your body weight. Please don't rush into lifting heavy things. Step 3, progress slowly to heavier resistance so you can avoid injury. And step 4, be consistent. Aim for those 2 to 3 non-consecutive days a week because your muscles actually need that time to recover and rebuild. Every single movement you choose to do today is a direct investment in the independence of your tomorrow. Sarcopenia absolutely does not have to be your destiny. By embracing even a little bit of resistance training, the tools are firmly in your hands. So the only question left for us to ask is, are you ready to rewrite your own rules of aging?